If there is one thing women respect in a man and respond to emotionally is this: a man with clear and strong boundaries. This single quality sets you apart from any man she meets and in fact protects you from time wasters and users. A boundary is a personal rule or limit that protects your mental, physical and emotional well-being. It tells people what you will and will not accept in your life and even in your relationships. Everyone should have boundaries, especially a man, because it will determine how your life will turn out to be. The reason why I think that men, most especially, should have more boundaries is because, I mean, look at you, you like 4 generations. You carry like 4 generations in your loins. Correct me if I'm wrong, but women do not impregnate themselves. It is what you bring that determines what comes into this world. Have you ever started to think about that? That is the more reason why you should be careful as to what comes into your life or not. So having boundary as a man is a serious matter. In fact, it makes you even more attractive. Let me tell you something. Women want to test your boundaries. We want to test you, even subconsciously. We do these things because we want to know where you stand. We want to know what will make you fold. Do you get? We want to know if you're a kind of man who can be pushed around. We want to know if you're a doormat. That is why sometimes she will do some things and it will look like she's pushing you to your limits, she's pushing your buttons because she wants to know what your limit is. She wants to know if you actually have boundaries. And unfortunately, if you're a kind of man who maybe you think that you're being nice, oh, this woman, she's just so gorgeous, oh, let me just leave her. I think she will get to understand me with time. And you don't state and maintain your boundary from the get-go. She will think you're a weakling because you as a man, you're a symbol of security and women like to feel secured. So if you're a kind of man that she feels that she can push around, toss here and there like a doormat, if you allow that, she will believe that every other person will treat you the same. And where does that leave her? Like, how safe is she going to be in a situation like that? When I talk about boundaries, I'm not saying you should become so mean and so wicked and everything. Before you know, you're just beating up somebody or you're being so violent. No, you can actually establish your boundary without raising a finger or even raising your voice. You can just tell her something like, this is it. If you do this thing twice, I'm not going to take it. And when she does it, it takes a lot of intentionality, okay? Because you might be like, if you're overcome by your emotions, you might just want to give in and let her continue to do or treat you like that. But if you maintain your stance and tell her that, well, you've done it before, you've done it again, and this is it, I'm not going to take it anymore, like you move on, then it will make her respect you even more. And if she ever gets a chance to come back into your life again, honestly, this time around, she not go do anyhow. Hey, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. Today I'm talking about the different types of boundaries that every man must have and how these will benefit you in the long run. So let's dive into it. Emotional boundaries protecting your mental space. This is you not allowing a woman or anyone manipulate your emotions and drain your energy. Let me give you a typical example. Maybe you've been trying to go out with a lady, you've been trying to set a date, and then every time she's busy, and then suddenly she comes up with this date and it's not convenient, clearly. Now, in this case, you have to maintain your boundaries. You can say something like, oh, I'm so tired. Can we just reschedule for a later date that will be more convenient for both of us? You can say this politely. Maintaining boundaries doesn't mean that you have to fight and be aggressive. No, you can say it as quiet as this, and she would understand that, okay, this is not a man that I'll just throw anything at. She can't just call you up middle of the night and she's like, oh, I did Kaduna Road, where you did, or this, that. She should know that you are a principled person. Also, protecting your mental space is you not allowing a woman's mood swings to dictate your peace. If she's moody, you don't have to mirror her behavior or mirror her emotions. You don't have to become angry all of a sudden just because she has been throwing tantrums all day. You can do something as simple as walking away. You cannot allow her mood or whatever it is she's doing to dictate your peace of mind. Whatever it is, if she upsets you, your ability to remain calm says a lot about your character and says a lot about how she's going to perceive you. Time boundaries. This is you not allowing a woman waste your time or make it seem like your time is less valuable. For example, if you have something to do, you don't sit on the couch texting back and forth for hours just because she wants attention at that time. This matters a lot because women are naturally drawn to men who are purposeful, a man who has something going on in his own life. If you make her the center of your life, then she begins to pull away. She will look at you as if you don't have any other thing you're doing. And that right there is a turn off for a lot of women. So just because you're working for yourself doesn't mean that you lounge all day just because she wants you to stay at home all day. If she's saying stay more now, stay more 2 hours now, and you're telling her something like, no, I have to do this thing at this time, so I have to go, baby. On the contrary, I have a lot of things to do, and you refuse to stay. Even though she might seem like she's angry at the time, but she would deeply respect you the more because now she knows that you are a man who values his time and who has strong boundaries around the way he spends his time. Financial boundaries, avoiding being used. This is you not allowing a woman exploit you financially or feel entitled to your money. For example, if she only calls you when she needs financial assistance, then that is her trying to use you. Okay, because I believe that relationship is about give and take. Now, when it comes to money, it might not really be the give and take for money, okay? But the truth of the matter is, if someone only remembers to call you when they need money, when they are in a fix, and they need you to bail them out, then it says a lot about how they carry that relationship. It can even be friendship, okay? But then basically, I'm talking about women here. If a woman who you're supposed to be in a relationship with, who you're supposed to be in love with, only calls you when she needs money, that's her trying to exploit you because she knows that you have soft spot for her. So whenever she calls, you're going to come running. You should help out of generosity, not out of obligation. You shouldn't give to a woman because you're attracted to her. And even though she's not showing you any type of love, like I said, it's not all about money. It might be that okay, you're more financially stable than her, you have more money than her, and then you enjoy giving to her, but you also need to watch it. Does she feel in other areas, like checking on you, like being emotionally supportive, like being there for you when you want her, or she only calls you when she wants money? These are the things that you need to pay attention to because it's very, very easy for you to be blindsided by emotions, by the way you feel about her. You're like, oh, this is my woman. This is my last bus stop. I know they play with this woman at all. All of that is okay. It's good for you to be crazy about the woman you love. But then again, it's important for you to set the necessary boundaries so that you will not be used. A woman will always appreciate and respect a man who gives out of abundance, not out of desperation. Physical boundaries, respecting your space. Now, this is you not tolerating disrespectful behaviors like aggression or invasion of your privacy. For example, you're having a gist with a lady, and then the next thing she's blowing you on your chest, like so aggressively. You have to call it out. You have to gently let her know that no, she can't do that. Some women can be like that. It doesn't make her a bad person, but maybe she doesn't understand that you don't hit somebody like that. But you have to establish the boundaries because you value yourself, you value your space and your body as a person. So you have to let her know that, "Oh, no, no, no hit me like that, I beg. No, no, that's painful." You don't go there and be laughing and be pretending as if he's sweeting you. Meanwhile, he's not sweeting you. Or maybe she's demanding access to your phone. You don't need to succumb to that. Now, I'm a big fan of couples not being secretive with each other, like husband and wife. You don't need to even password your phone, or maybe even if you password your phone, both of you should know your password. But then, when it comes to relationship and someone who you don't even know totally, someone who is not even your wife, she demanding to have access to your phone is like invasion of your privacy, and you need to protect that. And how you can do that is to set your boundaries right. Now, I get it how some women will be like, oh, you want me to trust you, but you can't even let me see your phone. You can't do this, you can't do that. She might say something like that, but trust is not about you giving up your privacy. Sexual boundaries. This is you not being pressured into having intimacy with a woman. Growing up, I used to feel like women are more endangered when it comes to things like this because then would often hear stories of a man saying that if she doesn't take in for me, I'm not going to marry her, I'm not going to wife her. I need to know that she's a woman who is fertile or is a woman who can give birth to children. I know because of that, a lot of ladies were dumped then in the past and a lot of things happened. But now, recently, I've come to like a shock realization that it's actually happening to men because recently I received a message from one of my subscribers and he was like, he has lost two relationships already because the women are like, oh, let's have sex so that I can even know that you are a man, like a complete man. And I was right there, I was a little bit confused because I didn't imagine that it would happen to a man. But then I told him that, like, having sexual intimacy with a woman you're not married with is not even a show of your manliness. Okay, because at the end of the day, you might be compatible now, but what if you're not compatible in the long run? What if you're not compatible in the future? She might be thinking that, oh, she can take it. Come on, baby, 12 round, 13 round, 7 round, she can take it. What happens when she now has a baby and her libido has gone down? What happens when she's now under so much hormonal changes and she can't even stand you touching her or even having sex with her? People keep talking about now. And that's why I talk about maturity sometimes. A woman or a person who is matured will not always think about the now alone. I know that yes, the now is important, but then think about the future. When it comes to things like sexual compatibility, for me personally, I don't even think that that's a thing because you might be compatible today and not be compatible tomorrow. All right. So, and another thing it's going to do to you is that you keep accumulating a lot of experiences. So, when you eventually choose one person and you say, okay, I'm going to be with you, this one person, what happens? Now you're competing in your head. That person is competing with a lot of images in your head: black, fair, green, blue, long, short, fat, thin. Chicken. So I think the best thing you can do for yourself as a young person who is not married is to stay celibate. And I'm not saying this because I want to preach to you or because I want to convince you. No, I'm not trying to convince you for anything. It's for your own good. Now you have lesser things to compete with. Now you don't have to go into marriage and then start having problems and start asking why. But we used to do it that time before we got married. You do 10 and you do 15 rounds, and now you can't even get it up. Well, what do you think? Stolen waters are always very sweet. Yes, when you're stealing it, so delicious. Now you have the freeway, okay, you have the certificate. Go ahead and do it, and you're like, okay, I'm tired. This is becoming boring. Think about it. Not deviating from the topic at hand. If you do not believe in premarital sex, then you shouldn't have it. It doesn't matter who she is. It doesn't matter how you feel about her. This is you maintaining your stance. And trust me, she's going to respect you for that. The moment you start enforcing strong boundaries, you're going to notice a shift. Women will either respect and love you the more, or they will leave if they cannot manipulate you. Either way, you win. A man without boundaries is a man who would always be used, but a man with boundaries is the man that she would truly desire. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for subscribing. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.